Elena is in the Ministry of Finance, and she is specialized in the use of public sector solutions. So I'm very interested in listening to you, Elena, today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and especially thank you to the European Commission for inviting us to explaining what we are doing right now. My talk is about the Technology Transfer Center, the CTT of the Spanish government. That's to say, our repository of reusable solutions for all public administrations, as a key factor to promote share and reuse and interoperability in the Spanish administrative context. Early this morning, Miguel Amucho introduced our complex administrative context in Spain. But now, so many organisms trying to do the same at the same time, provide services to citizens and companies, and guarantee the right to communicate electronically with them. Of course, there are differences between them in organization, processes, data models, structures, but do you think reuse is necessary? Do you think it is possible? My answer to both questions is yes. And I'll show you how we have done it, if I can. First of all, let me introduce the requirements for sharing and reuse that we have in Spain for all public administrations. The main concept is that public administration should share their own developed applications. Of course, they must have intellectual rights to doing so. The way they share it is not fixed. It can be an internal agreement. It can include or not future updates or additional support. And of course, these applications can be declared open source. We allow the use of any open source license, but we especially recommend the UPL, as it is the license that takes in consideration the specific regulation in Europe and for us is available in Spanish. For us, the concept of reuse has always been linked to the reuse of services, the nowadays closed services. The GAS, the General Administration of the State, provides the core building blocks to offer new digital services for public administrations, to provide new digital services, such as base registry, management of electronic documents, files, etc. In some cases, the use of these services is compulsory. In others, they must be interoperable with the core ones. As you can imagine, there can be many different solutions. And to make the reuse possible, it's totally necessary that we have a repository where we can find the solutions. That's the CTT. And finally, but not less important, before doing something new, public administration should check the available solutions in the CTT. As you can see, we are totally aligned from the beginning with the share and reuse framework of the European Commission. So, what's the Technology Transfer Center? The Technology Transfer Center publishes a general directory of reusable IT solutions in the area of e-governments. One of its objectives is to boost the provision of interoperable e-government services by promoting the reuse of already existing solutions and sharing the future ones. Additionally to the directory, we also offer the CTT Forge, which is integrated in GitHub, which allows the collaboration of public administrations for the development of new services and new applications. The CTT started working in 2008. Each public administration is responsible for their solutions. They can provide and manage all the information inside the solutions. Each public administration can connect to the repository and find, in a single point of contact, reusable solutions available. We are talking about solutions, but what can be a solution in the CTT? Since its beginning, we consider that the concept of reuse and the concept of solution may refer to many different cases. First of all, the obvious one, ICT developments implemented by public administrations. Second, common services, which are one of our key concepts of our is one of our key concepts of reuse. These services are available to any public administration, generally for free, with the aim to simplify government implementation of new services and foster interoperability. In this way, public administrations don't have to install, support, and maintain the service. They just can use or integrate it. Of course, semantic assets also are very reusable, and recommendations, policies, and methodology. A solution physically is a group of descriptive information pages with downloadable files, and especially related information and leaked solutions. So, considering our experience, what are the key factors to build a repository that helps improving interoperability and reusability? First of all, consider the legal provisions. Don't leave them for the end. The Technology Transfer Center was the answer to the legal mandate established in 2007 in the law of citizens' electronic access to public services. The reuse requirements were later extended in our national interoperability framework. And finally, these requirements have been abated in the new law for legal regime of public sector, which entered into force the 2nd of October last year. In second place, if you have a complex context of public administrations, as we have in Spain, build as soon as possible the coordination and cooperation mechanisms. In Spain, we have defined a clear and pyramidal structure for coordination purposes. They are only used for the CTT, but for all the information technology purposes. The highest coordination committees in the state and regional level are legally defined, and even ministers and secretaries take part. Below, in the pyramid, you have the level for information technology directorates, and finally, the working groups for the IT experts. More than 300 experts with different professional profiles take part in these working groups, not only technicals. The creation of the CTT was established in all these groups. And finally, populate the repository. I can give you some advices on our experience. First, all public administration must be providers for solutions, and each solution should be autonomous and independent. Build relationships between them. Then, for each solution, provide as many public contents as possible. And certainly, as this morning, Scabble said, provide guidance for the process. We have published a guide for the publication and licensing of assets. We also provide a service for supporting the process, and we use a lot the service provided by Join Up, requiring doubts regarding the UPL. Finally, if you have similar fellows in this train, join with them. We have federated with the regional repositories, and we are also federated with Join Up. And now, we have been working on this for more than 10 years. So I suppose you may wonder, what do we think is more effective? Reuse as a service? Reuse as a product? My answer is both. If possible and makes sense, each solution should provide both models, because each model of reuse has advantages and disadvantages, and you may have different clients and different necessities. For example, reuse as a product is the best option when you are dealing with organisms that need independency or personalization. However, cost increases a lot. So smaller organisms or with few specialist resources will prefer reuse as a service. You always have to look for a balance between both models. Sometimes it's not easy and it's difficult to make a decision when the provision of the service compromises the resources of your organization. But especially in the case of core e-government building blocks, reuse as a service is much more effective. And just to conclude, I only want to say you that our directory already have 600 reusable solutions, but there are many more that are still missing and that have to be included. The CTT is available for the Spanish public administration, but also for any other public administration. And there you can benefit from the 16 solutions, collaborate and contribute, and provide new reusable solutions. The 8 seconds that were said at the beginning with Robin. It doesn't matter how big or small is your public administration. It doesn't matter how big or small is your solution. If you think it is reusable, please share it with the community. Thank you.
So, Elena, thank you very much. I think that was very much inspiring. To be provocative, I would like to know how we can benefit, I mean, at European level from what you've built for the Spanish government. So it would be nice to see to which extent this catalog of reusable solutions could actually be shared across countries. So you keep it as a possible question. Yeah.